Hello, welcome back to the Cutting Room Floor, the show where your favorite creator, me hopefully, sits down to talk about some excellent projects. Thank you all so much for the support on the last episode. It just tells me that I'm doing the right thing, keeping it on this channel, and talking about it, and that it's okay for me to take a jump outside of just my own content. So be excited for that to come soon. It is coming, but I wanted to talk about this project first. It's one of my all-time favorites that I've ever made. I am talking about my Office shot-for-shot remake of the Season 9 episode Stairmaggedon, which I uploaded in 2020, but I originally filmed in 2018. Let's get into it. Holy... What can I say about this? We're doing that. I'm like, this is how you can say the line. What can I say about this? The Office shot-for-shot remake, which I call the Office parody. It is just easily one of my favorite projects I've ever made. Just because I thought it was so fun, and the whole process of it. This is the last of what you could call my 4 school projects. And I've talked about the other 3. That's Campus, Rules, Travel, Smile, and then finally The Office. In order, it went Campus, The Office, Rules, Smile. This was my grade 10 project. And in my film class that year, the final project wasn't making a short film like it was for the next 2 years with Rules and Smile. This one was to make a shot-for-shot remake of a scene of our choice. And I love The Office. I loved The Office then, and I still love The Office now. It's one of my favorite shows. I watch it all the time. Back then, I watched it literally all the time. And so it was kind of an easy one, especially because by that point in the class, I don't think I talked about it in Rules or Smile. In the 11th and 12th grade, I was the only student in the film class. It was just me. There was no classmates to use as cast or crew. It was just me in the class. But in 10th grade, the year started with, I think, like 14 of us. It ended with 2. And because it was the 2 of us, we needed to kind of do it in a way that we were not going to be on camera and we could do a 2-man crew. And, we were thinking about it, and then it came and I was like, that's a great idea. This mockumentary style. We have a camera, we have audio, and we're set. It just takes 2 of us. I can direct from behind the camera. And my partner in the class, she had seen The Office, but she wasn't like a big fan as much as I was. And she was down for it. She's like, yeah, like, I'll do the sound if you want to do the camera. Do you want to choose the episode? And I was like, yeah. So I went and I sat down. I was like, okay, what would be a fun episode? And thinking about that, I'm like, there's like a lot of really fun and really good episodes. But thinking about who I could cast and how I could do that. And it's funny because in that same notebook, in the episode where I was talking about Campus and I showed like the little like brown notebook, that was my notebook in high school for like grade 7 to 10. In there, I was casting all my classmates as characters in The Office. I was sitting there and I was like, okay, Dwight, who could Dwight be? Who could... And I'm like, okay, I feel like I just want to try and find like a fun scene and then maybe build the actors from that. And so I came up with a couple options and then I landed on Stairmaggedon. And I was like, hey, this is going to be actually really funny, I think, if we can make this work. Like, easy, Shy is Stanley. He was already doing like Stanley impressions, so I was like, yeah, you're like, given, like, you can do the Stanley. And I was like, Matthew's seen The Office enough. I could make him work. So we made Matthew Dwight. And then Adam, the comments said it themselves. Adam just had a similarity to Clark that I don't know. It was kind of like he needed to be Clark. And that was the 3 main actors we needed. And then, of course, we needed Meredith. And so I asked my friend Kalisha. And I was like, hey, would you want to come for just a quick shoot? I'd be there for 40 minutes. It's literally one scene of you. You just got to take the little dart and that's it. And she's like, yeah, of course I'm down to do it. That'll be so fun. So we'd cast everybody. We knew our scene. I needed to make a script because we needed to do, it was a shot-for-shot remake, which included dialogue. We needed exactly what they said. We went off script for, I think, two lines are different, and they're both from Adam, which is not a bad thing, because I liked the rest of the scene so much. I was like, screw it, we'll take the hit in the marks. This was good. But I sat down and I was like, hey, I'm not gonna just like sit here and like play the scene and then pause, type what I thought it was, go back. So I'll turn captions on. This is when I found out the captions aren't always 100% accurate. I was going through, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like, I got to one part, and it's fixed now, but I'm watching, I'm like, back, and I'm like, that's not what they're saying. And so I was like, I need to go back, because I was like, just quickly like, press play, copy the captions. Like, I wasn't like really paying attention, so I'm like, I have to go back and make sure these are all accurate. And except for this one part, it was. And then it was getting a location. We didn't have an office building. My school didn't have the layout that would work for this. And so I was like, okay, we have two. We could do my church, which is where we ended up filming it, or we could do this business. And I was like, oh, like this business, from what you described it, like it was a connection that her father had. I was like, that kind of sounds perfect. Like it has a hallway we could use and stairs. Just like, yeah, like that kind of seems ideal to me. That didn't end up working out, which is fine. It's fine. I think it worked out perfectly the way it did. But we were fully planning to use this building. It was like an office space, and I was like, okay, like we can make the church work. It has the spaces that we would need, but I think it'd be less maneuvering and using your imagination if we went to the office building, but we didn't. And so there's all that, and I feel like this was like a good idea of like what a production was. We scouted locations, made a script, cast our actors, got our equipment, and then set up shoot schedule. We like, okay, we need this day for these people, this day for these people. Fun thing was, it was like Adam, Matthew, Shy, you're there if we're filming. Kalisha, you're only there for one day. I'm only there for a little bit. So it was easy, it was fun. And yeah, we were all set. We were ready to go, and we went to go film. Yeah. This is God, that was so fun to do. You and your little. Oh. All right, the van. Okay, now making it. That was a different beast. It was fun. It was a different experience. Because remember, you have to keep in mind, at this point, my only real production experience was Campless. And I've talked about how that went. So I've talked about my issues then, my issues looking back now, and this was different. Campless was also for a less structured class. It was an open-ended class that I chose to make a film, and this was a film class. So we needed to kind of be on top of things and doing it right, which is fine. It's good. And so getting there, it was a big thing, because it's always that idea of, at one point, does friendship get in the way of it being good? Like, at one point, how many times can I say, hey, that wasn't good, we need to redo it, before they stop being like, yeah, I'm helping out a friend, and start going, hey, I'm not having fun with this. And luckily that didn't happen, but that is always something to keep in mind, and it's something I've kept in mind working with friends, because it's more fun to work with friends. But that's like a consideration. At what point are they going to stop being willing to help out, especially if you're not paying them? And I mean, it was a high school production. Of course, we weren't paying them. We didn't have a budget. But we get there. We leave from school. We get to the church. I'm like, okay, let's just all be here. Let's do a little like rehearsal with the scripts of walking through how this is going to work out. We did some like blocking. Okay, we need this. So we set up the top area. Okay, we're going to film in order of what we need. So we get set up. Everyone's ready. Get them in costumes. We have like jackets. It's funny. Matthew's jacket that he wears for Dwight was my jacket. I know this because I made the darts. It was like, I took tissue paper and I like colored it pink and I taped it around like a little stick I had. I made 3 of them. Or I think I made 4 of them. And then like the gun, I had like a little fiberglass pole that I wrapped in black electrical tape. And then I had an airsoft gun that I broke. And I'm sorry about that. And so it didn't have the barrel, but it had the handle. So I was like, okay, put it all together. That's the trank gun. And so I gave it to him. But the funny thing is, I went to put that jacket on years later. Like I think in like 2021, 2022, I was like at least maybe going through stuff. Put my hand in the pocket. We left the darts in there. The gun was not in there anymore. But the darts were still sitting in that pocket, so I thought it was kind of funny. But we got all ready, did the hair. Matthew was using Kalicia's glasses. So she only had to be there for an hour, but she decided to stick around and she helped get like the part on the hair. And of course, like looking back, you see things like Dwight's part is down the middle more than Matthew's was. Not the end of the world. But my big proud moment, Shai's mustache, electrical tape that I cut into the shape of the mustache, and I cut like 4 because I knew we were gonna need multiple because each day. And so we get into it and we get going, and I'm just having a blast. Like we're filming, we're having a great time. The light died, sorry about that. But we're having a great time. I'm like genuinely really liking this. There's no stress. Everyone's knowing their lines. And so it's just kind of like we'd film a scene and we would get through it faster. And so I felt like it was so much extra work because we would do a scene 2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, just to have enough takes for safety. And then it was, okay, take a break. We need to switch the whole room around because we have like a limited space that we have to make look like different orientations, and like we don't have the wall to bang his head into and all that. Fun fact about that, by the way, when they drag Shai's head in, that sound effect, that's me stomping on the table with it standing up like that. I did the sound effect so that we would have it, because I'm like, I'm not gonna actually hurt Shai like that. So do all that part. I love that beginning scene, the Dwight, for a threat to be credible, you have to, and then just the shooting, because it was figuring out how to do those shots. It's like, this isn't actually a gun that's going to shoot anything, so how do we make it look like it's hitting Shai? And I think we were pretty successful with that. I think it worked out. But we did all of that. We had a blast. I had a great time with doing it, like genuinely the best time. There's one part of the reason this is one of my favorite projects isn't just because I love The Office. It's just the memory of making it, of doing it. It's just such a pleasant memory in my mind. But I'm sorry, I can ramble and rant about this for so long. I don't want to get too off topic. But we're making it. We're doing the whole scenes. I have to reference it constantly because while we do have like a rough storyboard, and we have a script. I'm not an artist, and a big part of The Office, if you've seen it, is facial reactions. They have specific facial reactions, and there's shots where the camera moves to the face, especially for Adam when he's playing Clark in this episode. So with that in mind, I have to be taking that into account and making sure that I'm getting the right shots, but also getting him to make the right reactions. So I have the episode open on my phone and I'm referencing it constantly. I'm like, okay, and Adam, you're doing this face right now, okay? So when I pull the camera to you, that face. And so we're doing that. I'm like, this is how you're gonna say the line. It was very like strict. It was no like interpretation. It's like, no, this is how it was done in the show. This is how you're gonna do it now. We get going. We're having a great time. We get to this top of the stairs, and that's where one of the script deviations is. It's Adam's line of, go watch it. I'm blinking on it because it's not like what you would think it is, but also I understand why he said it. And then we get to, the roughest sequence, which is the sliding Stanley down the stairs wrapped in bubble wrap with a helmet on, because obviously they did it with like they didn't do it with actually the actor wrapped in it in the show, so I wasn't gonna do it to Shy. And like, so certain shots, like, we don't need him in there, so doing all that. And I had like just a massive roll bubble wrap. Like, this works out perfectly. So we had that, had the helmet. We're all set. We're all good to go. And I'm like, frick, I don't have like a dummy. Like, I don't have a body to use. And so what we ended up doing was taking all of our jackets, wrapping it around this like wooden board, and then wrap the bubble wrap so it doesn't look like a person. And it's really funny in the scenes where it is clearly that doesn't look like a person at all. It's just this wooden board wrapped with coats to make it look bulkier. And we slide down the wall, and it's supposed to put a hole in the wall, but it's a brick wall, so we can't do that. And we have tables to make it slide down because it didn't slide down the stairs because it's not a person. We know that scene, and we did like, I think 2-3 takes, and then we moved on. And that's also why it's a little funky editing wise. Like, that sequence definitely is the roughest of the whole batch. But then we get to the outdoor scenes. And so these were actually filmed back at school on a different day. So that first bit took 2 days-ish, like a day and a half. And I think there was just a couple top-up shots. So we do all that, go back to the school, and it's during a break. Like, I think it was like lunch, where like we all had a spare that coincided. So we all go out, we get, Shy dressed up, get his mustache on, roll him a bubble wrap, and roll him across the parking lot to my mother's van. She had a red van at the time, and that was also the car I was driving. So I roll him across and shove him in. Great. Perfect, we're set. Because Dwight has a very specific car, and part of the scene is he shoves Clark in the back seat. Like, well, we can't just do it there. So we tried to do it in a way that you couldn't directly tell that there was like a sliding like van door that he shoves him in. And then I was like, oh my gosh, we've gone this far. We need another actor. Dwight. It's a 1 second Dwight waves and I'm, oh my gosh, I feel like a fake fan. I'm blanking on the security guard's name, and you guys are gonna obviously tell me in the comments. I'm gonna feel like an idiot. But Dwight waves at him, and he just waves back, and I was like, fuck it, Shy, you're gonna be him too. No mustache, you're both of them. I don't have time to go find something. Like, we realized in that moment that we didn't have somebody for that. And I was like, we don't have time to go find somebody. We don't have, like, there's not like somebody I can be like, hey, come out. Like, hey, come back to the back. We need you for a scene. I was like, should I just go? You're going to be the guy. So he sits there, he does that. We have fun. Put Shy in the car, and we move it like 3 spots. Like, it's literally a 3-spot move. And then we get to that final scene. And so we're like unwrapping him. We're having a great time. And I'm like, and then it's like, oh, the pigeon scene. What are we doing for that? And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, I'll figure that out later. Like, that was when we were figuring all the episode out and the scenes. I was like, oh, the pigeon. We can do the pigeons later. That can be like a whatever. We'll figure that. We'll find a shot of that. And I was like, fuck it, Adam, you're the chicken, or you're the pigeons. And so he's just over there, and I filmed it. And I was like, that works for me. Like, that was funny. And then we get him up, we get walking, and we finish it up. And that was that. And then it came time to edit. And that was honestly easy. In the grand scheme of things, just finding we went through, you found the best take, you set it in order, and you had the show to reference it. Like, when it goes black, it's literally the same time it is in the episode. I just use that as a template to hold it against. And I think it went pretty good. I mean, I love it. I really enjoyed it. People seem to like it. Everyone was really proud of it that was a part of it. And not to brag, we did really well. I think there's only 2 of us, and it was literally the only final project he had marked for this class. But still, we did pretty well. So yeah, I'm proud of the shot-for-shot remake. And honestly, it's something that I don't know why I haven't done again since. I have the equipment now that I personally own. So I don't know. maybe I should do another shot-for-shot remake and see how my skills have grown in terms of making this kind of stuff. We'll see. But yeah, that's just it's so fun, and it's really crazy because this is the last project where I really could say not even the last, the one and only project where I had like a direct equal person that was equally invested and equally, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, skilled with it in terms of a project from me that I was making. A lot of the times it's just friends being willing to help. And so it's not like they're incompetent at all. They're not. But in this one, they would ask questions. Like my partner, her name was Rhodey. I don't think you watch these videos, but if you do, Rhodey, shout out for you. She would point things out, and she would like do things, and she would think about things, and like she would just like it was a different environment working with somebody who was also in the film class, like with that mindset. And I haven't like had that for any of my other projects, so it's different. But The Office, it holds a sweet spot in my heart. I love it. I'll forever love it. And I love that I have like a remake personal connection to it. Oh man. I forgot about the pigeon. All right, and that's the end of the 9th episode of The Cutting Room Floor. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you like The Office? And if you do, what do you think of the shot-for-shot remake? But the question of the week, because you can also answer that in the comments, please let me know if you like The Office and if we did a good job. My question is, who would you cast me as? If you had to put me as a character in The Office, who would you choose? I'd love to know in the comments down below. Let me know and I'll react and I'll let you know what I feel about your comments. Thank you so much for watching, and again, thank you so much for supporting the last episode. I hope that you enjoy this. There is a horror movie discussion coming. That is the next episode, I promise. I had this one planned first. So, horror movie is next. Get excited. I am pumped. And with that, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another episode of The Cutting Room Floor very, very soon.